Yeah.
Rico got that vodka.
Yeah, money make the motion, got hood make the money. And bitch, I'm from the trenches, I'm trying to see 100. Ain't never been a bitch, you can't take nothing from me. And when I was a youngin', I swear I stayed on dummy. I'm on a mission, got me cooking in the kitchen. Bitch, I leave my pots dirty, let my hype scrape the dishes. I'm familiar with that dope, and I know that rutabaga. You ain't get no money if you don't keep a group of haters.
All right. Welcome to the 290 Mo podcast. I appreciate your time. If you could, introduce yourself for my viewers and listeners.
All right. So I'm Dashontae from What the Heal podcast. You guys can follow us on Instagram and TikTok under What the Heal podcast. Yeah.
Okay, definitely appreciate your time. Appreciate you coming through. You know what I'm saying? I see your work, you know what I'm saying? I'm definitely a fan, you know what I'm saying? And I got a lot of questions for you, so we're going to get right to it. I don't know if you're familiar with my work, but I like to get to know, you know what I'm saying, who we talking to, you know what I'm saying? So when your fans come checking this out, they be like, oh, I didn't know that, you know what I'm saying? They be like, we besties or some shit like
that.
So
merge the squads.
We're going to start from the top. Where you from? Where you grew up?
I grew up in Elk Grove, so I've been a suburban kid, like, pretty much my whole life. Yep, Elk Grove. I still stay out there now, so
okay,
nothing's really changed.
Okay, so as a adolescent coming up, you know what I'm saying, you could be anything you want to be growing. You know what I'm saying. When they told you that, what was your aspirations to be when you was growing up? Like doctor, lawyer?
It was a doctor.
Oh yeah.
I was supposed to be an OBGYN.
That's crazy. I say that like so cliche because I say it in every interview. Did you want to be a doctor, lawyer? You the first person I was like, yeah, a doctor. Okay.
Yeah. So I actually was about like a year away from finishing my pre-med degree at Roosevelt University, and then I got married and had kids. So
okay. So was that something, what made you know, like how did you know that's something that you wanted to do?
I think I've been a people person forever.
That's like a personal people person though.
Yeah.
Right. That's like the women doctor.
Yeah. So I've been for women for like forever. So it was just like natural to me. Plus I love medicine. So
okay. That's dope. So leading up during you know what I'm saying, the studying and preparing for that stuff, did you actually enjoy it once you got into it, or did you feel like you had another calling?
It was like easy.
Oh yeah? Okay, that's dope.
I never had to study hard. I think I would like do tests, like read the stuff like in 30 seconds right before the test.
Oh yeah. I kind of did that for my CDL. My CDL license, I was in the parking lot, went over everything, you know what I'm saying, then went in. I feel like driving is like riding a bike though. It's a lot of common sense questions. So that's dope. That's dope. So did you have any experience, you know what I'm saying, back then, like doing what you're doing now? Like, did you have any, you know, it
was like podcasting or anything? No, not really. I think like the closest to fame or notoriety would be like I was in the Chicago Tribune.
For what?
For going to school to be a doctor.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
What was it like?
Like a little piece hyping up the little community college I went to and talking about how great it is, and then talking about like my transition to my pre-med program.
So that's great. So at that point, how far along were you to completion?
What was it? I was right before I got my bachelor's when I stopped.
So how did that take it? How did you feel about that? Was that, you know what I'm saying? It was
like looking back, like because having kids changed it for me. So like if I didn't have kids, I think I would have like kept going with it. I had my daughter when I started, and that was fine because I had a lot of help with her. But then when I had my son, it was like I went into like stay-at-home mom mode and wife mode.
Do you feel like you may have left some cards on the table, or you feel like, you know what I'm saying, everything happened for a reason?
Everything happens for a reason.
Where you supposed to be?
Now I feel like podcasting and being famous for just being me, that's who I'm supposed to be.
That's dope. So when you put down, you know what I'm saying, being a doctor, did you ever be like, I'm gonna come back to it? Do you still have a passion for it, or is it just something that you thought you was gonna do?
I think because I was so smart, I thought like, yeah, that's the way to go. That's what to do with it. But then after getting into entrepreneurship, like being a doctor, you might cap off at like 300,000, 500,000, but like working for yourself, there's no cap to that.
True. Ain't no cap, but you know, it's a lot of trial and tribulation.
A lot of trial and error, a lot of get it
know what
right
I'm
to get it
saying?
wrong,
So,
and yeah,
For sure. Because, you know, a lot of people, they say, like, that'd be the for sure way, you know what I'm saying? Going
That's
to
the
school,
for sure
getting
way.
your degrees and stuff like that. But, you know, some people say you ain't living unless you follow, you know what I'm saying?
Follow your dreams,
you know what
yeah.
I'm saying? So that's dope that you ended up where you feel like you were supposed to be. So, after school, was it immediately podcasting and getting on the mic, or how did that happen, or more specifically, what happened after? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna stay home mom, I'm gonna do a school. Did you have any goals at that point that you want to?
No, I was in a crazy, like, toxic marriage. So I was, like, strapped down, stay-at-home mom, couldn't go anywhere, couldn't do anything outside of being a wife and a mom. And then so once I left that and I realized, like, damn, like, I have a story to tell, then I got into, like, podcasting. Shout out to, like, B. Simone and Megan Ashley. Those are, like, my idols when it comes to podcasting. I would, like, watch them all the time. And then, like, I believe in manifesting. So, like, I had a vision board and I wrote, I'll be podcasting all of 2023. And I did my first podcast January 1st, 2023.
Okay.
And I haven't stopped since.
That's dope. I like B. Simone. I didn't even know she had a podcast. She's a comedian, right?
Mm-hmm.
I
No,
didn't
for
know.
sure,
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah, I didn't know she had a podcast. I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah.
That's dope. So, if you don't mind, I want to ask you more about your relationship, the toxic relationship.
Yeah.
Did you ever? Well, let me ask you this. You know what I'm saying? Did you? Were there signs? You know what I'm saying? Like you said, you were married and you had kids. You know what I'm saying? How do you feel like you got to the point where, you know what I'm saying, that it wasn't what you signed up for? Like, what changed? Were they
When
somebody
did it
that they
change?
wasn't? Like, how did they get you? You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
did
okay. How
get
they
you?
get?
Yeah.
Okay, so I feel like he got me by, like, he just seemed like everything was just so perfect when I would be around him, and, like, I never had to worry about anything. Oh, you can, like, move in, you'll never pay a bill, like, it'll all be great. And so when I met him, I was, like, losing my grandmother, and, like, I feel like he played on that. Like, I was at one of the lowest points of my life because my grandma was, like, my baby. Like, before I had babies, I had her since I was, like, 18, taking care of her. So, like, he played on that. And then just, like, manipulated me. It didn't start right away. It started at first. It was he called me a bitch. And I was like, I remember calling, like, my family friend, and I'm like, this is not, like, the same guy. Like, he just called me a bitch. Like, but then, like, being like, well, maybe did I do something to, like, make him have to do that? And then it just went from there. Then it was just, it went physical, financial, all of that, like, just horrible.
Wow. How do you make it out something like that? Like, you mentioned, you know what I'm saying, calling your family. Like, a lot of people don't even make it to that stage to even be able to talk to their loved ones about what's actually going on.
I feel like I didn't get myself out. I feel like I was forced out. And I'll say, like, by God at this point, because if what happened never would have happened, I would have never been out, because I ended up stabbing my soon-to-be ex-husband because he had assaulted me for what I felt like was, like, the last time. So, like, I stabbed him in my mind and my idea as self-defense, and that changed my life.
Is that what it came on to? Like,
Yes.
self-defense?
No, I ended up taking a plea, not knowing, like, I had never been in any legal trouble, so I didn't know any of this, like, any of the court system, any of how that played out. But, like, I'm going to go back and try to get that overturned, because he already had, like, an open DV case with me as the victim in it while this was going on. So, like Chicago police, Cook County system.
For sure. That's what I tell anybody.
Man,
I don't care
screwed.
if they stop you for throwing trash out your window. Be quiet. I need an attorney, man.
for real.
For real.
I believe people now when they say, like, I didn't do it and they've been convicted. I think before I was on this side with the convicted people, like, I used to be like, no, like, if the law says you did it, you did it. Now I'm like, no, like, you really can be convicted for something you never even had a part of.
That's crazy. So you said you don't know if you would have been able to get out. So do you mean like death, or just mean like still in a relationship? Like,
Both. I think it would have eventually got to the point like he would have killed me.
Wow.
Because that man was like 7 feet tall and fucking evil.
Were you trying to kill him? If
No.
you don't mind me asking.
No, I have enough medical knowledge to be able to kill someone instantly, whether it be like.
Oh wow,
That's
that
honest.
kind of made my heart stop for a second.
That's honest.
Enough medical knowledge to.
I have enough medical knowledge to kill someone. So, and I said that from jump, like, and even so, like the wounds, they all like went with my story. Like, he was like being sexually violent towards me, so all the marks and all the wounds that he had would reflect that.
Now we don't have to talk about this, but I've heard about it before. So you can be like, how does that work? Like when you're married, you know what I'm saying? Is it just?
I'm the type of wife, like I was like nasty. Like any point in time, like I never told my husband, no, I don't believe in that. If you're in a relationship,
Right.
you don't do that.
Sure.
So-
Especially married. You know
Especially married. I was the freak in the marriage. He was the fucking like boring one. Like the fuck. Like, so it's like he's like a true narcissist, and like he would take the fact that I had a lot of like sexual childhood trauma and stuff like that and like use that against me. And that night, that's what he did. So what he ended up doing was, it's graphic, but like taking like 3 or 4 of his fingers and like scraping the inside of me and like just saying like, you like that, you rape victim and blah, 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 and like taunting me with it and all that. So
Wow, it sounds like you got some deeper stuff going on.
Hell
some,
yeah.
some way deeper stuff going on. So, I'm just assuming, like, but where were the children throughout all
they
of
were
this?
in their rooms.
Did they ever witness any, not that specifically, but just any other
Any violence?
abuse?
Yeah.
Do you think that had a toll on them? And
My babies are small. They're 3 and 6, but I think it did. And then even now, like he's with someone else and all that. And from the way that my son acts, I feel like he's still beating. But I say karma is a beautiful thing because now he's with a white woman.
yeah, I believe that, because you ain't supposed to do that, man. Right? But okay, so what's that relationship like now? You know what I'm saying? Because you guys do have children. You know what I'm saying? So I'm pretty sure you have to communicate.
No communication.
No communication.
Because I'm such a bad guy. So he's on a 2-year order of protection that keeps me away from him. But he's violated that since and all of that. But we're still going through divorce.
That's crazy how you can. It seems like you can get married like that, but when you hear about people getting divorced, they're like, "Man, I've been getting divorced for years." I'm like,
I've
"What?"
been getting divorced since 2020. Well, he filed in 21, came back, and then we officially pushed it through like after the whole stabbing incident in 22. So my divorce is going on 2 years.
Wow.
You would think we were like Bill Gates and Melinda.
I've actually heard of that before. It's like crazy.
No.
It's like the debit card thing. Like when you get a refund, you pay for it, the transaction goes right through. But
Yep.
when you need a refund in like 6 days, so.
It's like it took 2 IDs and $60 to get married. It's taking me years and thousands to get divorced. I do not recommend 0 out of 10.
Marriage.
I recommend marriage if, let's put it like this. Now I recommend marriage if there's something that's like holding you guys together. Like don't get married for kids.
For sure.
Don't get married for love. I'll say that too. It's like a contract.
It
It's
is.
like saying like, I want to merge this with that, because I always say like, even if I got married again, it would be like more spiritual than anything versus getting legal people or laws involved.
Yes, for sure.
So it's like, if you have something like, okay, because we got married, now I'm entitled to that building. Now I'm entitled to getting money back from my car. Now I'm entitled to maintenance. Now I'm entitled to child support. Like, at the end of this, I know there's nothing good going to come from him for him out of this, but I would not.
Okay.
But people, you can be married, but the way I look at it is it's like a piece of paper, because I'm still legally married. He's moved on. He has like a plethora of other kids. Like, you can still do what you want to do. It's not going to, that piece of paper is not going to keep you bound to each other. It's not.
Yeah, for sure.
You have to want to be.
I definitely agree with you on the contract part. Like, I feel like,
It's a
you know what I'm saying? We gotta go downtown for them people don't know us. We just met today.
Then people don't know you. Then people are going to be all in your business. Those people will decide how you move, walk, talk, and act.
My debt is your debt. If I clock out today, you know what I'm saying? You
Yep.
gotta pay them bills. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's like the main part. You know what I'm saying? Of for like I agree with you 100%. Like, I'll be more of a spiritual marriage. Like, we can have the whole. You did.
You can do the whole. I'll do the whole
Oh, sure.
wedding. Y'all won't even know. Like, y'all be like, oh my God, she got married again. I'm so happy. Yeah, I got spiritually married.
Real.
Like,
yeah, for sure. I definitely agree with
y'all
that.
can have that legal contract because it's just like even from being married and like, I'm not afraid to say this. I talk about it on my pod. I've been with married men, so like, that piece of paper that's only gonna secure you something financial or some piece of property or something like that. That's not gonna secure somebody being faithful to you. That's not gonna secure your family lasting forever. It's
For
not.
sure. For sure. I definitely agree with that. I agree with that. And I want to get more into that topic that you just touched on with the married men when we start talking about the what the hell and stuff like that. But and one more thing before we leave off this subject real quick. Did that affect, you know what I'm saying, like how you deal with like other men, you know what I'm saying? Does every man get a clean slate, or
Every
do you
man
be
gets a
like,
clean slate.
you doing the same thing he used to do?
No, I went to therapy and I healed myself from that because I don't believe in that. His issues, his things that he did to me are not every man's problem. So I don't have an issue like dating or being kind to men. Like, I love men. I'm submissive to men. I love being like loved by men and to love men. So no, I'm not bitter or angry. Every man isn't violent. I've never even experienced that level of violence until him. So
That's cool that you don't paint that picture on everybody else.
No.
Because, you know, some people get scarred like for life from
For
situations
real.
like that. Like,
what I went through was like a Lifetime movie.
Yeah, for
Shit, I'm
sure.
still waiting on Tyler Perry to pick it up.
for sure,
Like,
like I said, people be flinching and stuff, all type of stuff. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Just from events like that.
I feel like I did have a little bit of PTSD after it, like, because I ended up like dating somebody for a bit of time and like I would still do things as if I was like in that. So like I would feel like I have to cook all the time for him or like clean before like I'd go to sleep. Like I still had those things going on. And like even he said, he's like, how could anybody like ever abuse you? Because my nature is, I'm like quiet by nature. Like I could just like sit there and vibe with you all day and just like relax with you and have nothing to say. And he was like, I was always waiting on the other shoe to drop and it never did.
But see, that's kind of debatable because you know what I'm saying. You know, some people will be like they want their woman to cook, clean, you know what I'm saying, and walk the block. You know what I'm saying.
I like doing that though.
Yeah, that's what I said. I mean, I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know your first experience then wasn't so good, but like just
It
me
was like
personally,
cooking for Chef Gordon Ramsay. Like legit, I cook so amazing now.
My thing is like I'm gonna work and get the money,
Yep.
and then you just do everything else.
I
That's just
love
my
that.
thing, you know what I'm saying? Just work and get the money.
Yep.
But so from all them traumatic experiences you went through, you know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure your kids was a bright spot through all that. You know what I'm saying? To where you are now today. You know what I'm saying? How do you get into, you know what I'm saying, not only podcasting, but you pretty prevalent, you know what I'm saying, on social media as well. You know what I'm saying? How do you get into that from being in that type of relationship?
Then it's just like after that, I just loved on myself and found myself. And I'm like, this is who I really am. Because before that relationship, like I was always like the vibrant, fun, outspoken, crazy, wild friend. And then so after that, and I took the time to heal myself and really grow. Like, I'm back to that. Like, I'm wild. I'm crazy. I'm fun. I'm like, I don't fit a mold. I don't want to be like that. Like, I feel like in that marriage, I wanted to be like every other suburban soccer mom. Like, I had the truck with the TVs in it. Like, I went to gym class every day, like, shopped every day, like, did all the little stay-at-home mom things. And after I got out of that, I'm like, oh, like everybody in that shit is so miserable. Like, damn, I want to live.
Yeah,
and I just
for sure.
started living.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of people are afraid to be themselves, you know what I'm saying? You spend a whole life, you know what I'm saying, trying to make other people happy.
Trying to make society happy.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely agree with that. So, what I want to know is, like, how does it start? Do you just pick up your phone and start putting up reels on Facebook? Do you know what I'm saying,
How did it start?
know some friends that were already in the business? Like, how did it start?
I think I started studying people who were like influencers, and it grew from there. Like I remember I would study B Simone a lot. Like, and I thought I could like, I'm like, I could sell lip gloss like B Simone. And then I had to realize like B Simone is B Simone. Like I'm Shantae, like what sells for me? And then so I would just put out different content and just see like what stuck.
Okay. What was some of that early content?
All my male followers know. I did a lot of adult content.
Was this like OnlyFans, pre-early
I had an
OnlyFans? Okay. What was that experience like?
I'm a very like sensual person, so it was like nothing to me.
Well, I mean, what was it? A positive, negative?
I think it's a positive thing. I think I
would
was
you recommend it for other people?
You have to do what you want to do for you. Like you can't do what I do. Like if you like if it is not for you and you are not comfortable like being yourself and being a sexual being, I would not recommend. No. And I think a lot of people are afraid of sex or even to like talk about sex and open up about sex. So
for sure.
I'm not.
So being able to talk about sex and being open about sex is one thing, you know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? Being online with it is another thing. It's a totally another thing. So when you signed up for that, you know what I'm saying, you're obviously, you know what I'm saying, good with it with yourself, you know what I'm saying? You don't have no, but did you think like, man, somebody I know might see this, you know what I'm saying? Anything like that? Does that ever cross your mind?
You know what? I think it didn't, because when I revealed it to my friends and like the closest people to me, they were like, we're not surprised.
So you revealed it to your friends, you just didn't put it out, just like to the, you know what I'm saying? If anybody come across, they come, so you just like,
yeah.
hey guys.
No, it was out there.
Okay. Any weird situations from that? Like anybody from school like hit you up like, man, I've been waiting on this, or
What's the weirdest shit? Weirdest thing I think was like one of my friends, like her stepbrother, like was like obsessed with me. And so like when I would see him like at things, like he would just like hug me like tight for like longer, and he'd be like, "Oh, you're so fine," and I'd be like, "All right, go away." And he'd be like, "Would you ever date me?" And I was like, "Fuck no."
Does that affect your dating life?
No.
Like being while you was doing that? Like
No, I had a boyfriend while I was doing that.
And he was like totally cool.
But he I think is a beautiful soul, and I think that he's just different, and I always speak highly of him. He was like my first relationship after my marriage, and he was awesome. Like he made me comfortable being me. Like he never judged me. He was super great.
Okay. If you don't mind me asking, when you was just speaking on that, you was using past tense. So what happened with that?
I think it was me. I always tell him it was never him. It was
How was you? I thought what you been through ain't supposed to be you no more. You supposed to be. You know,
I think I wasn't ready. Like, damn, it sounds so bad. I feel like I sound like the dude in this, but like I couldn't stop cheating. But like, with me, we have to have a concrete conversation saying that like we're together. Because if we haven't had that conversation,
that's not cheating then.
Think we're together.
That's not
so
cheating
for
then.
me, it wasn't cheating, but for him, in his mind, we were together longer than we were together.
Okay, so y'all never had the we together conversation.
We didn't have that, but like people say I'm wrong only because like I had a key to his house. I'd be like transporting his kids back and forth. He was involved, but I felt like we were like the dopest, like just beings together. Like I just thought we were like just really vibing.
So why was it never, you know what I'm saying, why weren't you just like, hey, you know what I'm saying, we need to make it official? Or you just felt like that was it's a man's job?
I feel like that's a man's job. I'm never going to ask a man like to see my worth. So I think it was just like, this is cool right now. Like we were together every day, but I don't know.
That's dope.
I
I never had a woman admit to her cheating like that. That's dope.
Yeah, women cheat too.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
Of course. They just slick as shit. So, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? They don't admit to they don't just like, yeah, I couldn't stop. You know what I'm saying? I've probably never heard it put like that. So that's dope. Hearing it from a woman's perspective. Let's get into What the Hell, if you don't mind. What the Hell. How did that start? Was it already something that was started that you became a part of, or something that you created? How did that come into existence?
It started because I used to do this thing called like Boss Bitch Brunch on Saturdays, and it was with my co-stars. So like be at my house and I like cook all this food, and we were supposed to be like working on our entrepreneur stuff because we're all entrepreneurs. So like then I was like, man, like why haven't we done a podcast? And like, when are we going to do a podcast? And then Brittany was like, why haven't we done a podcast? And then we just started like generating names, thinking about topics we wanted to talk about. And then we just put it into motion.
Okay. What the Hell? That's a dope ass title. Who came up with that specifically? Or was it like a whole bunch of names?
It was a whole bunch of names before it became What the Hell. I think What the Heal stuck because like we've all been on different journeys in our life that required like healing, and our whole thing was we wanted to talk about life like after that.
Okay.
The journey of that, because I feel like healing isn't linear. So like you will forever be on a healing journey at some point.
Okay. You mentioned you guys, you know what I'm saying, meeting up, you know what I'm saying, over food and stuff like that. But what's the relationship? Do you guys classmates? You guys just meet out and about?
Me and Brittany have been friends for over like 20 years, I want to say. And then me and Izzy became friends through Brittany because her and Izzy met at work. And they've been friends ever since. So we've all been like long-term friends for a long time. So like when me and Izzy first met, we just instantly hit it off too. Okay. I hang around like good energy.
So one like that's my
women.
best friend, you know what I'm saying? Okay.
I hang around good energy, amazing, high vibrational people. So
that's dope. On your social media, you guys categorize it as the healing journey unfiltered. You know what I'm saying? So it's already tough for a lot of people to already talk about, you know what I'm saying, what they're going through. You know what I'm saying? How do you guys get on there and talk about these like personal topics and subjects, you know what I'm saying, so easily? Like I even seen you showing emotion on a clip, you know what I'm saying? How is it easy to get on the camera, get on the mic, and just share stuff like that with the world?
I think because to me, if it helps one person, then I've done my job. I've done what I've been put on this earth to do. And a lot of my stuff is centered around like domestic violence. So like I have no shame in that. It's all public court documents. Like anybody can read about it if they really dug into me and wanted to. So I don't know. It's easy for me to be real. I can't be fake. I think that's why like I resonate with a lot of people, because you could tell like I'm just who I am. My experience is my experience. I went through it. I got through it. I healed from it. And let's talk about it.
That's dope. That's dope. So the podcast, What the Hell, is it exclusively on iHeart?
No, we're on iHeart, Spotify, Apple, anywhere you can get your major podcast streams.
And you guys are actually located at iHeart, though.
We record at iHeart.
At iHeart. How did that situation? Because you know, I've been in this space for a couple of years now. You know what I'm saying? I see people that they show might be on iHeart. You know what I'm saying? But I've never seen you. The first person I actually seen like who shows at iHeart. So if you could, you know what I'm saying? How did that opportunity present itself?
The plug. One of the castmates works for iHeart. So,
oh yeah. Licks.
So yeah. So yeah, we can get in there easily.
Now, is that something that you had to, like you said, you have been watching B. Simone, but like once they was like, all right guys, we got a studio, you know what I'm saying, we got the name. Did you do any other studying? Like, do you watch any other podcasts, or was it just all off the cuff?
What else do I like? I feel like there's a lot of amazing podcasts. Where did I get knowledge from? Even from, I started on the Treehouse Show. That was my first one, and just like watching him and his hustles, like shout out to Gartasia. His hustle is beautiful too, like, and he is so vibrant and amazing, and just went out there and just, if you wanted guests, went and got them. So I I don't know. I don't think I really study people because to be myself, like, authentically is easy. But I just, like, watched how people moved a little bit. But I didn't have to do, I feel like you don't have to do too much studying when it's in you and not on you.
For sure. That's like part like what we was talking earlier. Like when you enjoy what you're doing, it's really not a job. You know what I'm saying? So I can understand that. And just to backtrack a little bit, my question's a little bit out of order, but I just want to ask you about, you know what I'm saying, being as though what you've been through. You know what I'm saying? What the situation you went through early in life, and then with your ex-husband. How is it easy to like embrace your sexuality? Like,
How is that easy for me?
is that like it's not? Was that something that you had to work into, or it never left even throughout the trauma?
I think my sexuality never left even like through the trauma. I think I am who I am. Like, so he would shame me for being a sexual being and be like, you can't be like that. You're a wife. You can't do this. You're a wife. Like, but in my mind, I was ready to like get the fuck away from that so I could be whatever. Because I feel like there's a level of respect when you are a wife that you should have for your husband. But if your husband knows who you are, he should be able to like embrace that too. So there should be a healthy balance of that. Like, to me, if I ever remarry, I want a husband who'll like celebrate when I like want to wear whatever I want to wear and be confident in himself to know like she's just coming home with me. She's not going home with anybody else.
For sure, and that's definitely. I don't know. I think a lot of men, you know what I'm saying, it be within themselves. You know what I'm saying. They might feel like somebody can take their girl. You know what I'm saying, or stuff like that. It be a lot of stuff. Be like, if she's for you, she for you. Man.
If she's for you, she's for you. Like, even for me, when I'm locked in, like truly locked in, I'm not gonna cheat. But if you don't,
I don't like the way you just said that like that. Like, I'm not gonna cheat if
you lock me down, but you don't, and you think we're gonna play this life game, you might have just fucked yourself. Yeah.
If or you know, yeah,
if I'm locked in, you're treating me good. You're like being the man you're supposed to be, like provider, all that shit. No, well, I wouldn't have a reason to cheat.
So how long have you guys been a show, and what has the overall experience been like? Has it been enjoyable? Has it been everything you expected to be? Has it been ups and downs? Just talk to me about your overall experience with the show and your cast.
We started, I feel like our first episode had to go out sometime in May or April. I should know the date, but I don't. So we're like months in, but it's been like a lot of like trial and error, learning and stuff, especially when it comes to like releasing clips, Lori getting on the same train with having enough data space to like store all these things. Like, I legit had to get 500 gigabytes just to like coast, because like my phone would fill up so fast, and then I find myself like deleting stuff or adding this or buying space on a cloud or whatever. So like it's not like, it can be as simple as like you put up your phone and then start recording stuff, but like when you get into it and people are really looking for content like week after week after week, like you have to invest, and it is not cheap.
For sure. Still talking about like the group dynamic, you know what I'm saying? And I use music for an example. Like, for whatever reason, groups don't work out, you know what I'm saying? From the Jackson 5 to the Migos, you know what I'm saying?
We don't claim that.
Groups don't stay together. What does a disagreement between the cast look like? Or you guys don't have those?
Our disagreements would be about stuff like have your equipment right, like have your storage space cleared out before you even like come down and to shoot. That'll be about it.
Okay, so no creative differences or anything like that?
Really, we're all like respectful of each other, of like being ourselves. Like, everybody knows like I'm like the sex advice one, or the one with all like the crazy wild ideas, so I always spearhead stuff like that. Izzy is like the amazing art, like crystals and spirituality one, and Brittany has her own like life experiences and stuff that she's good at, and talking through like breaking out of her shell and out of her box. So we all come to it with something different. So there's never no like stepping over each other's toes. Like they don't want to do what I do. I don't want to do what they do.
Everybody got their own specialty. When you guys are coming up with a show, who or how do you guys come up with the topics or what you guys are going to discuss for the show?
We'll do like a call, and then we'll like just talk about like we'll throw out ideas, and then we'll decide on like the top 3 or 4.
Okay, where would you like when you throw your ideas? Where do you take inspiration from when you might see something for inspiration for the show?
My life.
Always. So
Pretty
you be
much.
up and there putting your
Yeah, like I'm an open book. I put my shit on the card. Like the way I look at it is like people are gonna talk about your ass.
You don't be like, I got
regardless.
this friend who going through this situation. You just be like, so I'm going through what the bop.
It'll be either something that relates to me. If I ever talk about anybody in my life or in my space, I never mention names. Even if it's about people that I'm dating, I don't mention names.
Okay.
So you would have to know me to know.
Okay, for sure. I want to ask you about your support system. Through everything you've been through to now, you know what I'm saying? I know your kids is right there. They my kids my biggest fan, so I already know how that is. But other than that, what's your support system like? Do the people around you support, you know what I'm saying, what you do?
100%, yeah. Like I have full support. Like I have amazing godparents. I thank God for them every day. And I have amazing friends that became family. Like all my friends are like 20 plus years. And
Me too.
even like my earliest friend, she might as well be 20 plus years in because she's that dedicated and supportive. So
For sure. That's dope. So you know I did my research, right?
yep.
So we got some questions I gotta ask you about. But it's nothing crazy. You're an entrepreneur, you're a businesswoman, you know what I'm saying? So you have products. The product I want to talk about today is the compact powerful vibrator.
Yeah.
How did you come up with that? How did the idea, you know what I'm saying, to come up with that? Like I've known people to sell like other sex toys, but nobody actually come up with their own, you know what I'm saying? So if you could, let's talk. If you would share with us the greatness, you know what I'm saying.
So for me, like it started off as Amazon FBA, me selling through them, and then
FBA. Oh, that's not
fulfillment by Amazon.
Who?
Fulfillment by Amazon.
Okay.
So like you ship all your products to their store and then they disperse them.
Okay.
So then I was doing that, like kind of getting into that kind of like when I was still married, and then he would be like, you can't sell anything else besides sex toys. Like he would accuse me of like messing with the manufacturers of the sex toys. Like he was so insecure. So then when Amazon got rid of sponsored ads for sex toys and adult toys, I just took it upon myself and just started selling them myself.
Now, so is this an original design, or do you just outsource the product and put your name on it?
Outsource the product and put my name on it.
Is it something that you vouch for? You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Okay.
For sure. I tested out my first sample myself. So yeah.
How did they sell?
Good.
Good.
Especially all of my girlfriends purchased one.
They better have.
Yeah.
What about grandma, auntie, mama, you know what I'm saying? How was their reaction?
My grandma and my mom have passed away.
Okay,
So
sorry.
they're gone. But my godmom, she's like oblivious to all this because like she doesn't know anything about sex toys or any of that. So like I think hers is still in the box somewhere in her room. Like I don't think she'll ever use it, but
Okay.
she supports who I am.
She
knows who I am.
Are you currently still? Are they currently
Yeah,
still
they're
available?
still available.
And can we expect any
Other
new
things?
iterations? Any new things?
You know what I think you can expect from me on the sex tip? I think sex toys will be incorporated, but I want to do like private parties, like sex parties.
With the wait a minute.
Like not selling sex toys, but like informative, amazing sex parties. Like I don't know if you know who Sir Marvelous is.
No.
Kind of like a Sir Marvelous candy coated nights type of twist. Like
No, I don't. So I got to get clarification. So is it like, you mean like a orgy or like tables with like different products, like sex stuff? Like,
I don't know how to explain it. Like, I feel like at the parties that I'm thinking about in my head, like, it'll be informational. There'll be a section for like information, and we can like eat and laugh and talk and get people talking about sex to get them comfortable with sex. And then there will be an option if you felt like having sex there. You're grown, do what you want to do.
there's the option room right there.
Yeah.
That's dope. That's dope, man. I love entrepreneurship, man, because it really shows, you know what I'm saying, the creativity in people. And that's one of the reasons I started a podcast, because I know a lot of people that do a lot of shit, you know what I'm saying. And even though, like, the drugs and gangs is reality where I'm at right now, you know what I'm saying, I still know people that's
dope, amazing.
iHeart, you know what I'm saying, or got property or it's just stuff like that. So, it's definitely one of the reasons I started the show. So I had to ask you about that. So if you guys want a compact, powerful vibrator, go ahead, hit her up. I have all her information in the description of this video. And like I said, I scrubbed through your social medias and stuff doing my research, and you stay busy, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You're real creative. You got a lot going on, you know what I'm saying? So let's get into the fat girls getting fit.
Yeah.
You know let's get into that. I'm assuming this was after, you know, the marriage and stuff like that. Give me a quick synopsis on it. Fat girls getting fit.
So for me, it kind of started with, like when I left my marriage, I was like the heaviest I had ever been, self-esteem in the gutter, like horrible. So I had got me a personal trainer, and I just like literally worked my ass off with him and did all that fun stuff. And so he like kind of inspired that, I want to say, or kind of like motivated me to want to start that, because we started other like business ventures together. And then Fat Girls Getting Fit, I just ran with it. Shit, it was the majority of my day was either at the gym or doing something that pertained to fitness or like getting fit. So I feel like it's a journey as well. So people like to be all in my business in my life. So I'll take you on that journey too.
But that's the way you so open, you know what I'm saying, about that, you know what I'm saying. Just not about that, just about everything, period. Because me personally, I'm be like, hey, if I don't, hey, that's mama, I don't got nothing, you know what I'm saying. I'm really, if the record button not on none of this stuff, I'm not saying anything for real.
Me, I think I'm just like an outspoken soul. I think I really don't give a fuck what people think about me. And I think if you knew what it took to get to this point, you would understand.
I believe you, because just watching your clips, I probably heard you say that like 3 times. Like, I don't give a fuck what people think, you know what I'm saying? But that's how...
I don't give a flying fuck if I want to be nappy one day, if I want to be cute and glammed up, if I want to be like, whatever, I am who I am, I will still press record.
So what you doing, Fat Girls Getting Fit, did you ever, you know what I'm saying, feel like you might offend somebody by saying like fat girls, or it was just...
No, because if you're a little thick, if you're a little chubby, you know you're a little thick or chubby, like...
Yeah, for sure.
So it's not in an offensive way, because I'm saying it about myself. Why would I offend myself? So I'm telling you, like, I'm with you. I understand the journey, the backslides, the maybe one day you want to eat a cheeseburger, but you're really supposed to be eating a salad, like...
Those are the conversations. Those
are the real ones, because I've had moments where I've taken a break, or I eat what I want to eat.
That's the thing.
I've
People
had a fucking brownie. Everybody thinks
that real.
You think that you're gonna just stop cold turkey when you've been eating bad for 20 plus years, and you're just gonna eat salads for the rest of your life. No, you're gonna want a freaking cheeseburger one day. You're gonna want a brownie one day, and you should be eligible to eat those things along with sticking to your fitness journey. Just because you eat one bad thing doesn't mean you're off your fitness journey. Then plus 2, you always have to realize if it took you 20 plus years to gain that weight, you're not going to lose it overnight.
Yeah.
It's consistency.
For sure. That's true. So, what you have in your hands in so many things, from the podcast to the thing that your endeavors, your entrepreneurship, what's your passion? What would you say you have a passion for? Like,
my passion is podcasting and being famous for being authentically me. And I feel like one day I'm gonna be like so famous for being authentically me. My purpose is with women. I always say women and children, but particularly women who've been through like traumatic experiences. So I like work at a women's
Shelter.
Yeah, shelter. And that is my purpose in life. Yeah.
What kind of shelter is it? Homeless?
A homeless.
Battered women or anything?
Yeah, it's women from all types of walks of life. Like, I can relate to women who've been incarcerated. I can relate to women who've been through prostitution and stuff like that. Like, I can relate to women who've been through everything. Domestic violence, all of that.
Yeah, okay, so you said it's a homeless shelter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Real quick, this might be a little bit off topic, but my brain be shooting off 1,000 places. I come up with new questions as we speak. With you being like in the homeless shelters firsthand, I don't know if you're familiar with like the migrant crisis going on.
Yeah.
How do you feel that the migrants get more resources
Yes.
than the homeless people that are already here?
You didn't even have to let that question out. Yes. They will get housed before our women will get housed. Yes. There's a special budget just for them.
Yeah. And I'm totally with, you know what I'm saying, everybody
I'm with it. I don't think anybody
come
should
to America,
be homeless
get a new
or
life,
none
you know
of
what I'm
that.
saying? But it was already homeless people here.
Get the people off the bus stop first,
For real.
and then
For real. Like, I saw some, like, I don't know if it's true, and I saw some, like, they was, like, letting people be police officers and stuff like that. I was like,
they're in the police stations.
yeah, no, I know that.
Uh-huh.
I want to go and ask for an interview. I took some clothes down there. I'm literally right down the street from the police station. And they down there bad. Like, I took a bag of clothes down there, walked 2 blocks to the store, and I came back, and they already had the clothes on. Like, that's how bad it is right
Damn.
now. So, I done lost my train of thought.
Because it is unbelievable. Because I think from working in there too, it's a lot of things that need to be tackled, like mental health being number one.
So, is it mental health, or is people don't want to work, or is people just want to do drugs?
Okay. So I've seen it from all angles. So I'll say mental health is number one. I think a lot of people are either undiagnosed, untreated, or they walk around with a lot of trauma that they don't address. And that could be debilitating to people who aren't strong-minded. It's not to say you can't be strong-minded, but what I see too is like they'll house these people, and then in a year or so, when the free year of rent is up, they'll be back because you did not equip them with the skills to function in daily life.
Maintain.
So if they think like, oh, somebody's just going to do something for me for free, I got all this time. In a year, you should have a substantial amount of money set aside. Because if you're not paying rent, or if you don't have a car, if you don't have these things to pay for, what are you doing? Because some of them do have jobs. And then I think some of it is, there's some people who are habitual, like shelter livers and homeless people. And I think that that's a choice. And I think that's driven by like either low self-esteem or you just don't believe you're worthy of much in life. Now, some people, they love to be homeless. Like, some people have literally left the program and went and stayed literally outside of the program because that's just what they're used to and they don't really care. That's the thing. Some of them, I think, were never just taught like skills, and like I think that's what I try to do when I'm in there, just teach them like different like life skills. Like some of them don't know anything about saving. Some of them don't know anything about like ownership or know anything about like getting a place or getting a job or anything. Like I don't have to be there for the money. I'm there literally because that's my purpose.
With you giving out that game, I want to ask you, do you think a lot of the situations that these people are in, do you think they're curable? Like, do you think if they saved money and went on their own that they would do the right thing? Or do you think they wouldn't go just buy a whole bunch of drugs and come back? Like, is it curable after like a certain, because a lot of people I see, they like old,
Yeah, with
it's
it.
like even getting back out here, you know what I'm saying?
With the old people, I'll say Social Security is a joke. If you are young and listening, make sure you have a 401k, some savings put aside, a Roth IRA, something that's gaining.
That is. I gotta find out. Write
Yeah,
that down.
S&P 500 index, something. You have to have something that is generating you income as you are getting older, because a lot of them, they'll be like, I worked for here or there for 20, 30 years. And then their Social Security checks aren't even $1,000 or are like $700, $900. Where are you going to live with that? And if they have no money saved up for retirement, they're screwed. Unless you have a granddaughter, a son, or somebody to support you, you're screwed. So I think with that, like the seniors, like that's the part that I see. Like when I see some of their like benefit letters, I'm just like, damn, like the government tricked you. Like, did you know you could like do more than this on your own? Like, I don't know. Some of them that are on drugs, I'll say, are, I think any person could be rehabbed. I think you have to want to be rehabbed.
Sure.
You cannot tell someone, okay, you're going to go to this rehab facility for 30 or 60 days and think that that's going to cure them when they've been on drugs for 20 plus years. They have to want it. They have to be tired. They have had to have enough of living that life.
For sure. I think part of it is the environment as well. You know what I'm saying? Like one thing I used to say when I was coming up as just a black man, you know what I'm saying? Like I'll be like, they be like, get a job. I'm like, it ain't that easy. You know what I'm saying? Even as a black man with no criminal background, you know what I'm saying? It was still tough to get a job. Like it'd be, I used to always say, if I put on a suit and a tie and went outside for 8 hours and look for a job, when I come back home, I'm not gonna have a job that day.
Yeah.
But if I put on some jeans and a t-shirt and go outside and get some crack and a gun, I'm gonna have it within a few hours.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like even with them situations, like they might put them in rehab, but then you send them back to the same
environment.
You know what I'm saying? The same people. You know
the same people hanging around the same thing. You see it with some of the ladies too. Like they might have gotten off drugs and then they go back outside and the women outside are doing drugs. You didn't help them.
Any of the ladies into like prostitution?
Yeah, I've seen that especially when they're young, that breaks my heart so bad.
Is that, would you say that's worse than drugs?
Damn, okay, you're finna get real deep with me now.
I mean, you got the first-hand experience, you know what I'm saying?
So for me, I was, in my like younger years, I was a sugar baby. It's nothing. I talk about it on What the Heal. It's part of my journey. So still, no matter how you want to flip it, that's a form of prostitution.
Sure, yeah.
So, but you can go on dates and still get paid
this
without.
I think, I don't know. It's a complicated word because I don't feel like it should be illegal to charge somebody. I don't feel like it's illegal as your box.
If gas ain't free, ass ain't free. That's what I'm
saying. If it costs $20, it's yours. Shit. You know what I'm saying? That's just my personal opinion. Like you shouldn't be locking people up for giving their own shit out.
So for me, it was a lot of high end things going on. So like I can still relate in how like I was responsible for 8 people and my mom was sick with colon cancer at the time. So like I was super young.
Say you was a madam. I thought I was gonna say, hold on, we got.
I arranged some things. I had a life back in the day. Like I am so like prim and proper, but I had a life. For
8
sure.
girls on her stage. 7, my bad.
Not to incriminate myself.
Allegedly,
I had a life back in the day, and I did some things. I've set some things up and benefited for sure. Allegedly. But yeah, even with the those ladies, even though it's like street prostitution, it's like I can tell with them like. It's a certain corner. If you hang out on that corner, I already know what you're doing. Let's try. I remember, this is really recent, like the last weekend or something like that. Like one girl, she came in. I thought her tights were cute, right? Like I didn't think about it at first. I'm like, girl, those tights are cute. Like, where'd you get those? Like, I might have to get me some. But then I'm like, damn, was she out working?
Yeah, she's like, these my tights.
I'm like, wait a minute.
I just walked 20 miles in these tights.
Yeah, like she was trying to be all quiet and secretive with me, and I'm just like, I know you didn't get no damn job. So what the fuck? Yeah. So it got a little weird for a second, but I think that they, I don't know, it's different levels to it. Like,
for sure.
I've seen some of them prostitute themselves for like drugs, which is so sad, or just some of them just for like a place to stay over the weekend or for this or for that. Like, so it's a lot of trauma. I think you have to like address the trauma that makes you go that route.
Now, doing my research, I couldn't find nothing about your sugar baby days. So real quick, let me ask you, any weird situation? I watch a lot of stuff on YouTube, and I always see like even with the high end, you know what I'm saying, you have somebody be like, I just want you to step on my face in high heels or some shit like that. Is that anything that you've had to talk to us about a experience that you dealt with?
Weird. What's like the weirdest? What would be the weirdest? I had a lot of high end clients. That's why like I really don't understand like the bottom. But weird. I would have one guy, he literally wanted to just get a massage and talk to me about his little fucking day, but that's not really weird.
I mean, if it wasn't weird, that's cool too. Shit.
The weirdest was, Lord, the black community is gonna drag me for this one. But,
Lord. Hey, y'all, her opinions are hers and hers only.
But I did have like, oh God, this white guy, he did have a fetish for like calling me like a black bitch.
God.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I thought you was gonna say slave.
Shit, might as well. Like,
yeah,
it was giving slave vibes for a little bit, but
was it the ER or the A?
it was a lot of black bitch. I remember that. Damn.
I mean, cause you know that's I wouldn't consider that, cause I dealt with females that be like calling them a bitch during sex. I'm like, call me a bitch, so I wouldn't say that. But what I do want to ask you about,
too crazy.
what about, does your personal preference ever come into play? Like when you're in that work, you just like, like not him. Like I gotta take a shot. Like,
no.
Okay, so I'm guessing you just deny him at the door if it was somebody that you felt like wasn't attractive in no way, shape, form, or
I don't think
form.
attractiveness had anything to do with it when I was in that game. Yeah, no.
Yeah, so it was just strictly business.
It was strictly business.
Okay. So if they breath stink or anything, you was just like,
oh, that was never a problem.
She said they was well off. They could afford toothpaste.
Yeah. So I never had those issues. Okay, cool. I had a life though.
For sure. Let's talk about what's going on now and what's next. Like because you're always working on something. I'm assuming there's something else coming up or something else you're working on, an idea. If you don't mind, if that's something you can share with us, let's talk about that.
Okay, I'll give you guys a little sprinkle, but
exclusive.
So this is really exclusive because it's really new. Vulgar Tees, that's coming up. I thought I was going to have my shirt here to be able to wear today to promote it.
You're talking about wear? You mean bring me one? No.
Yeah. So Vulgar Tees is like my new t-shirt line that I'm working on. It'll be sold through Etsy. I'll sell some things myself wherever I go. And it's a whole lot of like just my wild card sex things and sex sayings, and it'll be like some nice calm pieces in there too, but it's like a lot of wild, outlandish things. Like I had ordered myself like the Nympho tea. Mm-hmm. So it's like Nympho nutritional facts tea. But
oh yeah, that's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope.
So yeah, it's another one. It's like be unforgettable in bed. Like so it'll say like be unforgettable, really bold, and then it's in bed underneath.
That's
and then my other main one is soccer mom, real bold, and then it says looking for a soccer dad with the little wet thing because soccer season is definitely here. So it's a lot of that.
Are these live now? If not, when can we expect?
When can you expect them? You can expect them to officially truly drop within the next week or two. Some of them have dropped already, but I'm not promoting it yet because I want the whole collection of them to be done.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But yeah.
So before you go, my last question, what I want to know is because I can't deal with 1,000 followers. So I noticed that you said 2 million followers on your Instagram. How do you? Well, I can only assume with, you know what I'm saying, you being a woman, you know what I'm saying, who's open with her sexuality, that you get unbelievable amount of new friends and followers, you know what I'm saying, that want to talk to you. And did that ever get, you know what I'm saying, tiring? Like,
did you see what I posted today?
No, I didn't.
I said, if you want to ask me, what are you doing all day? Like, that's the sure way to get blocked. Just so you know. If you call me on Instagram, that's a sure way to get blocked. Especially if you don't know me. The DMs. Oh yeah, let me tell you guys something. Unsolicited dick pics. Like, a lot of dicks aren't that pretty. So, yeah, I don't need them at all.
Is that the response you give, or no response at all when you give them? Or have you ever got one where you just like, let me hit the heart button?
I've seen some nice ones. I'm like, looks like a fun time. What I tell people is, like, you have to think, like, I have followers that know me, like, from TikTok, from Instagram, from what I used to do, from the industry, all of that. So it's like, if you guys think I would sleep with all of you, you cannot be for real, because goddamn, that would be too many.
For sure. Now, you said used to do. Are you officially retired forever? Do you ever see yourself doing it in another capacity, or?
When it comes to porn, I think I'm officially retired.
I didn't even know you did porn.
When it comes to, like, nude shoots or nude-esque, like, boudoir type things, there might be some things that come out, like, in the future. That's just me. I love it. I have no...
That's why I want to ask you, because, like, when things be a passion, they're not going nowhere. You know what I'm saying?
That would never go anywhere. I love modeling. I love being in front of the camera. I'm not afraid.
I noticed that.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay. So, like I told you earlier, like, I always think of more questions as we talk, as we speak. I'll make this the last question. It's not the last question. Second to last question. Like, I ask recording artists all the time, like, do you share, like, what you do, like, with your children? Do you let your children listen to your music? Are you gonna share with your children, like, everything you've been through and everything you've gone through and everything you've done? Are you gonna share that with your children?
If it's to benefit of them and to have open and honest conversations, like, I'm an open and honest person. Like, so to me, I'm not going to be one of those parents that's like, oh, my kid's never going to have sex. I'm one of those, like, you're going to have sex. Let me know when. Let's have a real honest and open conversation about it.
And that's how you gotta be with these kids.
That's how you keep your kids from doing shit that will land them into getting STD or STI or HIV. So, like, even for me growing up, like, my sheltered friends, those were the biggest hoes. Me, outspoken, being myself, like, I was just breezing through because I had no shame in it. Plus, I had a great example of a mom because she made it, like, easy to talk to her about. So
that's how it's supposed to be.
So it was easy for me to talk to my mom. I remember our introduction was I had this little pouch and I made it seem like I kept quarters in there for, like, the laundromat, but really had condoms in it. And one day she, like, gave me the pouch back, and she was like taking me to my boyfriend's house, and she was like, I think you're gonna need these. And I was like,
you're gonna need these quarters.
Because I'm like about to get out of the car, so I'm like looking for the little pouch. I'm like, fuck.
Looking for my quarters.
I'm like, damn, where's my little blue? And she's like, yeah, I think you're gonna need these. And I was just like, yeah,
for sure.
I'm having sex.
Yeah, for sure, man. These kids different, man. I always say you gotta tell them the truth, because the age of technology now, if you don't tell them the truth, they're gonna find out the answer.
And they're gonna get the wrong information.
Right, and you don't know who gonna be teaching it to them and stuff like that. Like, I'll never forget my mother's husband. It was a conversation in grammar school. They was talking about condoms. I go home, I ask him, man, I'm like, yeah, what's a condom? He tell me it's something you put on your tongue. I go back to school, they talking about condoms again. I'm like, yeah, you know, when you put it on your tongue, you know, the music stop, everybody
like, what?
Never again. My kids, you know what I'm saying? I'm just free. You gotta be honest. Then you don't want to make it feel like you lied to them. You know?
Yeah, because kids will point it out when you lie to them.
Right, for sure.
So, I don't think that nothing negative is gonna come out of it. Even when it came to me doing porn, like, I didn't do it long enough or to me gain enough clout to be like if you search me, it's because you either followed me on Twitter, you follow my Snapchat was really booming and lucrative for me.
Exclusive Snapchat.
That shit was lucrative. Lovely men who supported that. But yeah, like if you followed me on those things, you got more than whatever I did outside that was pornographic. A lot of my stuff was what do you call it? Like self done. Like
a lot of it is now.
a lot it's content. Like people have extremely crazy fetishes. Little do people know. Like I think what my other purpose on this planet is to introduce people into sex and like get them more comfortable talking about what they truly like like even with married men, a lot of them cheat because they get these fucking boring ass wives and they don't want to do shit, and then they're stuck here like I didn't play with my dick like 3 times today, now I want to fuck something for real.
See, that's a whole nother conversation. We got 10 minutes of camera time left. I might have to have you back because me personally, I feel like monogamy for black men, I don't think that's realistic.
I think across the board, because I've dated every race and creed pretty much. I think it's society. I think society places that we need to be in these monogamous relationships and we can't be outside of monogamy but if you cheat, if you get cheated on and you stay, sweetheart, you are in a polyamorous relationship. Sure. Because if you think he just dipped his dick in her one time,
and that's how they be, because when a dude and a girl, the girl be into it with a girl, they been into it for 5 years, all since y'all all in a relationship, man.
Yeah, so like even for me, I talk about it on the pod, like I had a husband and 2 boyfriends. That was just real and what was part of my life. If I wasn't having sexual needs met at home and other things worked for me, that's what it was.
Did these other guys know they were boyfriends and husbands? Okay. That's cool.
I'm very open and honest, even when I like date now, because I feel like I'm a poly person that I have moments where I want to be monogamous, but I'm such an open soul. Like, if you're with me and you say like, hey, like I have this fetish, or I like this girl or whatever, if your energy is dope, I'm gonna assume that you need to share that energy with the world anyway. So I'm not gonna like try to tie you down if that's not what you want.
Yeah, for sure. That's what I said, man. We could definitely go deep into that. Cause my personal opinion is like, you know what I'm saying? Like I got my girl, I love her to death, but I love women. Like I'll be flogging if I see them like she not attractive, I'll be lying. You know what I'm saying? So, and I feel like that's what it's just like. It's an attraction. It's an attraction.
Sometimes it's not even
nature.
Deep. And that's what I feel too. Like especially with men, I think that's why like I relate to men a lot, or like men feel comfortable like telling me things. Like I don't judge for one, and then I know like that's just how you guys are programmed. That's why I get called like I'm like a man or whatever.
I'm like a man.
I'm not like a man. Like I am so in my feminine, and I'm so like into that. But I understand being like attracted to somebody else while with someone, or like just wanting to explore. Sometimes it could be deep on sometimes, or sometimes it could be just surface level, like she just has good pussy and it's just what I want to fall into for right now.
Well, I thought she did and she don't,
and then she don't, and I'm done with it. Like so many dudes have gotten that wrong. They thought she was pretty as fuck and all that, and then next thing you know, pussy stank, it's not tight, it's fucking trash, and they hit it one time, you know what I'm saying? And they be done with it. Like shit, even like I talk about this in the pod, but like my ex-husband like had a baby on my ass. They hooked up like the girl told me like once or twice. I was like, damn.
Yeah, that's tough.
Shit, I don't know what to tell you.
That's tough having a baby with one time.
Yeah. She was like, it was like once or twice. I'm like, oh shit, sorry.
Yeah, it would have been tough, man. I don't know what I would have did about that.
Yeah, but that's what he does. He would fuck bitches once, twice, and
yeah, but I ain't just gonna blow them.
Well, he's dumb. I like if you follow the story with my marriage, I married a narcissist, a manipulator.
Tyler Perry hit her up, man.
Tyler Perry.
We waiting on that.
If that movie ever dropped, I think I would probably want to like really be directly involved in it. Like,
I don't know, let's do it.
Oh, that you guys can look for. I'm gonna do. Damn, that's so under wraps and fresh. You'll just know it'll be some erotic.
This ain't gonna come
coming
out for a while.
It'll be some erotic stuff coming.
Okay, for sure. We definitely gonna
shows
make sure.
And movies, and
all your links and stuff
books
in
and
the
all
description.
that.
If you need a cameraman, hit me up. I'm trying to shoot some more serious things. We got 6 minutes left. If you could let the people know where they can find you on social media, where they can find the show, where they can link with you, where they can have you come on their show, all that good stuff.
Okay, so if you want to follow me specifically, you'll follow me on Instagram first, Orchid Kiss ENT. So OrchidKissEnt. And you'll do that too on TikTok. That same name, Orchid Kiss ENT. And then Instagram for What the Heal is literally What the Heal Podcast on Instagram and TikTok. That's where I mainly be, Instagram and TikTok. Okay. YouTube is Fat Girls Getting Fit. And my Etsy store will be Vulgar Tea Shop. And yeah.
For sure. Real quick before you go, we got 5 minutes left. What is an orchid kiss? What is that?
Where did that come from? I believe in like vision signs, stuff like that. So literally it was something that came to me like when I was driving home one day and it just like stuck.
Like the whole name like just popped orchid, in your head?
Yeah, like to me orchids represent like sensuality and sex and femininity and all of these things. Was it like
verbally in your head or did you picture it?
It was like a vision. And it's just like you will see Orchid Kiss on everything, like brands of everything. Like I used it even for my bakery. Yeah. I had a bakery business.
That's what I'm finna say. I hope you like trademarking and LLC and all these names because they What the Hell and all that. That shit is that shit is stealable content
for sure. Yeah.
So definitely appreciate your time. Appreciate you coming through. It's definitely an open door policy. You know where to find me. Can't wait to have you back. I'm actually going to put some questions together for when you do come back because I learned some new things throughout the interview as well. Like I said, appreciate your time. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
In a minute, gang.